Today we're going to be talking about subtracting two polynomials. What I want to do first is I want to look at subtracting two real numbers and then try to apply that to subtracting two polynomials. Now, looking at this, we have 3 minus 4 plus 5 minus 5 plus 13 plus 3. Now, when we have a minus with a grouping symbol like this, one thing that we ought to do is distribute the negative to each one of these terms. So one way you can think of this as that this is plus -1, and so then distribute the -1 throughout. So I'm going to rewrite this as 3 minus 4 plus 5, and then this is going to be a minus 5, a minus 13, and a minus 3. And so we can now solve this arithmetic problem here. So we see that the 5 minus 5, so that's going to go to a 0. We see that there's a 3 minus a 3, so those are going to go away. And so then we're left with a -4 minus a 13. So let's write that out. -4 minus 13. And so we can rewrite this as a sum of two numbers. So that would be -4 plus -13. And so we can now just add this, and the results will be negative. So this is going to be -17. And so then the sum of these two numbers is 17. Now, that could seem like a complicated way. We can look at this and say, all right, well, this is -1 plus 5. So that's going to give you what? That's going to give you a 4. Okay. And so if we looked at this one, that'd be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that's 21. So 4 minus 21. We can visualize this as 4 minus 21, which would then give us -17 again. So those are two different ways that we can look at the difference of two numbers. Same thing here. We want to be able to subtract this polynomial from this polynomial. We will use this method to do the subtraction. So one thing that we want to be careful of is we want to distribute the negative to each one of the terms. And when we distribute a negative to a negative, that becomes positive. So let's keep that in mind for later. So I'm going to start writing this out. So that's x squared plus 3x plus 1. That's going to be a minus 2x squared. The minus makes this a plus 3x. And then minus makes this a plus 1. And so just like any type of situation with polynomials and adding polynomials, we want to find the like terms. So we see that the x squareds have like terms, the x squared and the -2x squared. We have the 3x's are like terms, and we have the 1's, the constants, have like terms. So we want to combine these. So before I combine them mentally, I'm going to group them up. So that's going to be x squared minus 2x squared plus, that's going to be a 3x plus another 3x, and then plus, let's group these up, 1 plus 1. And so now I have grouped up each one of the like terms, and we can add across. So this is going to be a -x squared. This will be a plus 6x, and this will be a plus 2. And so then the difference of these two polynomials is the following. Okay, so now that we have this, let's try another problem. Here we have this subtraction. And again, we want to distribute the negative to each one of the terms. So distribute the negative and rewrite this. We get 4x cubed plus 3x squared plus 4x minus 5x squared minus 3. now that we have all of this as a sum, we have dropped all the parentheses, we can start looking at what any like terms that we have. And in this problem, we have only one group of like terms. And so that's the only one we'll focus on. So I'm going to rewrite the 4x cubed. And I'm going to write the grouping of the x squared. So that's going to be 3x squared minus 5x squared. And so then I'm going to put the plus 4x and finally the minus 3. And so now I'm going to combine these two like terms. So that's going to be 4x cubed plus, that's going to be a negative 2x squared, and then plus 4x minus 3. And so that's one way that we can write it. Another way that we can write it, I'll put it right underneath it, will be 4x cubed minus 2x squared plus 4x minus 3. And so that would be the difference of these two polynomials. The next problem, we want to again remember to distribute the negative. And so then rewriting this, we get 4x cubed plus 10x plus 9 minus 2x minus 1. And so we want to look at any of the like terms. We see that there's like terms here and like terms here. And so I'm going to group those up during my rewrite. So I'm going to have 4x cubed plus 10x minus 2x, and then plus 9 minus 1. Again, it's a good idea to combine, have the like terms next to each other to avoid any possible mistakes. So then we have 4x cubed plus 8x plus 8. And we see that the difference of these two polynomials is 4x cubed plus 8x plus 8. And one thing to keep in mind is notice that we started with an x cubed, an x, and a constant. We didn't, and we should not see any x squares for some reason or any other degrees on x. These are at most these degrees of x.